My recent research has been on looking at statistical analysis of NHL hockey and hockey data in a variety of forms. And so Lauren's project was really to focus on looking at penalties in the National Hockey League and how those penalties are called, when they're called, are there differences between referees, are there differences in the rates of penalties when scores change, those sorts of issues.
We basically looked into the periods, the different periods, the score of the game, which we named as the goal differential. We looked at each referee, the home and away team to see if they had advantages, and lastly, we looked at the time in the game at which the penalties were occurring. So last 5 minutes of the game, last 10 minutes of the game. And what we basically found from all that was that all the referees were very similar, in which they called the same amount of they had the same amount of rates of penalties called. But we did find, however, was that the penalty rates did significantly decrease. The rates of penalties were significantly decreased in the third period and overtime. We also found that the home and away team did have significant differences with the penalty rates, and that the last 5 minutes and 10 minutes of the game also were significantly lower in penalties called.
When you have a close game, right, the rates of penalties are significantly less.
Yes.
And that is, I think, what we did is we were able to take with real data and confirm sort of what all the fans know, which is that in close games, in tight games, in late tight games, you have a decrease in the rate of penalties. From the NHL perspective, the nice finding is if you control for all these factors, then what you're seeing is no difference between the rates of penalties between the refs that are on the ice.
One of the huge benefits of being at a small school was the fact that you do actually get to build these relationships with your professors.
You get this wonderful transition that is supposed to happen with the senior year experience, which is that Lauren goes from having a good sense of what the project is about to, at the end of working for a little more than a semester, to complete ownership of that project. And it's just fantastic to be able to have a project like that go from its infancy all the way to presentations at a national meeting.